review video and unboxing for me. I figured I'd try to make one since I could not find the video like this in my research for looking at this PumpSpy. I'll open up the box, show you what's inside. As you can see, it's just the plug. With some paperwork, instructions. Most of the paperwork says to go on their website anyway. The PumpSpy and the sensor, the water level sensor, were packed together. You can see the bottom plug or connector for the sensor. It's a somewhat compact unit. The screw fell out. You do not need to use the screw, but it can be useful if you have an outlet that can accept that screw in. Mine is a single outlet, so I cannot use that screw. And the sensor, a float level sensor, does seem to have a waterproofing in the top of it. It is a sealed in the top there, and it just moves up and down to trigger a high water level. It is a float sensor, and then the connector just plugs into the bottom of the PumpSpy plug itself. It is normally off, so if it's not plugged in, the sensor will say that the water level is normal in the app. And there's the unboxing. Next, I'll go over what I experienced when setting it up. First off, plug it in. Once you plug it in, it will go into a setup mode, which is in yellow. LEDs are somewhat hard to see in the light. Give a little bit better view, closer view. And you can see in the PumpSpy logo, there's a little pinhole where the guy's eye is. That is the setup mode, or if the lights are not yellow, push that button with a needle or a pin to get the PumpSpy into a setup mode. Next, I worked on downloading the app onto my phone and set up the Wi-Fi via the app on my phone. Then I went to download the app for this and didn't notice this before buying it, but the rating on the app is not very good at 1.8, so it got me a little scared of this purchase. Hopefully this thing works okay. So it downloaded okay and then came up to the sign in screen or log in. If you haven't already signed up for a PumpSpy device, then you can create a new account through the app. You just enter your name and email, password, and it creates the account right in the app. Then it wants you to add a location of where your pump will be, just in case I guess you have more than one house or location you want to add a pump or PumpSpy to. Then it gives fields to enter the nickname and address where your house, where the PumpSpy is. Then it gives you fields to add your cell number and nickname for a phone number to send text messages, and then email as well. You can add as many phone numbers and emails as you'd like. Then we get to actually set up the Wi-Fi for the PumpSpy. Basically, you have to take your phone, my example is an Android, and connect via Wi-Fi to the PumpSpy itself, which is basically going to your Wi-Fi connections, finding the PumpSpy network and connecting to that. Make sure you make it connect to that, even though it does not have internet. It might give you that error and want to kick you out of that since it doesn't see internet on the PumpSpy itself. Then you just select your Wi-Fi network in your house and connect the PumpSpy to that. Then it will ask you for your password to your local network, which you should have. Enter that and it will add the Wi-Fi network and password to your PumpSpy to be able to log into your local Wi-Fi network. At this point, the lights on the PumpSpy did go green, signifying it was connected to Wi-Fi. Even though it was connected, I started having problems with the actual app itself. The app would not do anything. It would be very sluggish. You would try to click select device. There's nothing under select device. Like you can add the actual pump itself. Then it kept popping up with the PumpSpy not responding. I looked at some of the comments, back to the comments when I first downloaded, and sure enough, a lot of people had mentioned that. They said uninstall the app and reinstall the app. So that's what I did, and I was able to get it to work a little bit better, but there was still no device to select in the app, so I had to follow the setup instructions for a manual addition of the PumpSpy to my account, which was basically you go to the settings tab at the bottom, and right in the middle there is a connected device manually. Click on that. Then it gets to the screen where you can actually enter the device ID, which is printed on a sticker on the device. So once I put the number in, the device showed up on my app there, and click on the device itself, and it shows this home screen. I actually already at this point changed the middle button there to main pump. I named that. You can modify the text there. Then I clicked on the connection button, the first button, and this basically shows the data connection to Wi-Fi. Then click on the power status button there. Not sure why it needs a button, because all it says is if it's good or not, it has power or not. And then the water level, and all it does is say if the water level is normal or not. So if there's nothing plugged into the sensor in the bottom, the water level sensor, it says it's normal. The power in the water really could just be icons that say if they're normal or not. There's really no more detail to see in those screens. Then back to the main screen, I click on the main pump there, and it shows this screen. So this shows the last cycle time, the length of the pump ran in this last cycle. Cycles today gives you just a count number of how many times it ran today. And then cycle history is an option you can go in to drill down a little bit more information. So cycle history will give you all the detail of each day. Looks like this is just one cycle, one example of the first time it's run. But you can drill down each day as well. It'll tell you how many cycles that day and give you a listing of numbers. And then estimated gallons, what I've kind of guessed at here is it looks like they're doing about every second of run time. They're saying that's a gallon. Based on the calculation for my Zoller pump recently just put in, that's kind of why I got this device. My previous pump failed. But it looks like I have like a 12-foot head, which basically means that total pump distance straight up vertically is about 12 feet, 13 feet, and Zoller's chart shows that it's about a 50 gallons per minute. So that's more like 5 gallons in a 6-second run for me. So as the PumpSpy website says, this is an example or an estimation. It's probably more good for comparing day for day how many gallons your sump pump moves. Not necessarily accurate on gallon number, but if it pumps 50 one day and pumps 60 the next day, you kind of estimate that it's pumping, a certain percentage more the next day than the previous day. And here's an example of that. It's just 2 days, and one's a partial day, but you can see the gallons pumped is quite a bit different, and if you're getting drastic differences in gallons per day, you can say something's wrong, or obviously if you get rain or something that would cause the water to come in. Here's an example of clicking on one of the days. This is what it shows. It shows a list of the times that day that the pump ran and how long it ran for that day, and estimated gallons. So that was about it with the app. So now back to the plug itself. Show plugging in or connecting the high level water sensor float device. Obviously plug into the bottom of the plug itself. So then you can install this float sensor on your ejection pipe. But for here I'll demonstrate what happens when the water level gets high and it causes the float sensor to push the bobber up, which of according to their website, push up for 3 seconds, and then it triggers a high water alert, which basically on the PumpSpy itself, it goes from the green LEDs to the red LEDs. Demonstrate here, according to their website, it takes about 3 seconds of high water, and then that triggers the PumpSpy to go through its high water alerts, sends emails, texts, whatever you have set up in the app. I'm going to give a little bit closer view. You can see that the LEDs are red. The float sensor is up. Then I'll allow the float sensor to come back down, and then about 3 seconds or so later it triggers it to be water level normal, and then the LEDs around the plug will go back to green. And then it also will update the app and any push messages, text, email, and say that the water level is back to normal. All these alerts will actually show up in the alert history as well on the main screen of the app. So here's mine installed. You can see the green light better when it's darker, but so far I like it. It seems to work well. There is one issue I noticed when you click on the pump info. It shows you the last cycle time, which the time is correct to my phone time. In this example it's 2:10, which was the first run after I plugged in the device. But once you go to the cycle history, it actually shows the first run time was 3:10. So I noticed this live when I was looking at the app as well. Not sure if this is a time zone issue or something, but I plan on asking PumpSpy about this. So hopefully this review and unboxing was helpful to you. My first try at doing it, so hopefully it was helpful. If you like it, like the video, comment if you have questions or any suggestions, and thanks for watching.